Hello racing and diecast fans, and welcome to the channel. It's all about racing. Now we're going to take a look at the 911 Porsche RSR, the sister car to the number 912 car that you may have seen in my previous video. If you haven't, click on that before you watch this, or go to it after you have watched this. Either way, both are great cars. Both are sister cars. This particular model that you see here is one that I haven't even opened yet. In fact, you can see the cellophane wrap is still around the inner part of the box. To give you a little bit of history of these two cars, these are Porsche 911 RSRs that competed in the 2020 12 Hours of Sebring. And this was a very special livery that was dedicated to the fans and everybody else that put into efforts to make Porsche as successful as they did with their factory teams over the past 7 years. The red car is adorned with a stripe pattern with stars going down the middle on the bar. This one is adorned with stars and a stripe pattern going down the front. Both are factory efforts from the Porsche USA team, and both were just highly successful over the years. This particular car, I think the livery is really neat. What I really love about this car, and we'll take a look at that in the review, is the fact that this being a mid-engined Porsche 911, as all the RSR were, this particular car has an exhaust that comes out just in front of the rear wheel as opposed to the rear of the car. Really neat, not very common. They only did these for about 2 years, and then they went back to the rear exhaust. So let's unwrap this, which I'll do in the background, and we'll take a look at this car in greater detail. Actually, before I unwrap it, let's take a look at the inside of this box. I almost forgot. As you can see, the box is your typical Porsche. I forgot to probably mention that this is a Porsche Dealership limited edition. These were only available through Porsche dealerships, throughout the United States. Came in the special packaging that you see here, which is really, really cool, particularly when you look to the inside of it. It shows pictures of the cars racing in the background. And on the left side, you have the Porsche number 911 with the blue background. On the right side, you have the Porsche 912 with the red, the sister car. The side of the cars, denote which specific car this is. This is the 911 car, limited edition. The back of it shows the thank you, along with the striping that this car is adorned with. Again, the 911, and the bottom of it, quite frankly, is rather unspectacular. No holograms or anything like that. Just the usual legalese. Now we'll go ahead and unbox it and unwrap it and take a look at it in close detail. Now that I've got the car out of the box, I thought I'd give you a really nice look at the inside of the box again. Very, very, very cool how they did that. I love it. Had the 911 and 912 car there in black and white. Some of the ones in these Porsche limited editions are color. This particular one was not, but nevertheless, very, very cool. Now here is the car itself. An absolutely spectacular representation of the car. As I had mentioned, this is a Spark Porsche's limited dealership edition. Initially available only through Porsche dealerships. I purchased all of mine, and I have about 6 of these secondhand on eBay. In this particular case, this was number 821 out of 1,500. And to put this in perspective, most model cars that you buy, whether it's 164 or 143, they usually make about 10,000 of them. They do that in order to make enough to generate a profit for them, respectively, because a lot of these are finished handmade. This is only 1,500, which makes it a rare car indeed. In fact, a lot of the Spark cars of the other various series are even rarer in quantities. I have several that are one of only 300 or 500 made. And that's nothing compared to 1,500. But this is a very, very popular model. It is very expensive on eBay secondhand, because of its popularity. But nevertheless, it is a spectacular car. And as usual, all Spark cars are resin. They are sealed, and to my knowledge, they don't roll. I've never removed mine from bases, so I couldn't tell you. They do come on these plastic bases, and they also have a very nice jewel cover that comes with it. One that even has Porsche, which you can see there on the top of it. Very, very cool. Nice looking jewel case. Another thing I like about 143 cars is all of them, and I do mean all of them, come with jewel cases, so you don't have to buy those separately. This particular car has spectacular details, as you come to expect from Spark. The nice thing about it is you can see some of them from here. You can clearly see the seat on the interior of that. You can see the net. You can see the steering wheel, the console. Just really nice details. And you take a look at it closer with a light, and it's really phenomenal. This particular car was driven by Nick Tandy, Fred Makowicki, and Earl Bamber, three phenomenal drivers. They've had a lot of success, both individually and together with other teams. This car being no exception. This was an entry in the IMSA Weather Tech Series, the number 911 car. This is a pro entry. You can tell the pro cars in the series from the Pro-Am because they have red number banners that you see on here. Their mirrors are always going to be red, and the end plates on the rear wing are always red. That's how you can tell. This particular car, as I mentioned, was a thank you edition, and you can clearly see that on the bottom here. You see that thank you by the exhaust. We're also going to look at that under the rear wing because it also says thank you there. But this is a thank you edition, again, to all the Porsche fans and everybody else who supported Porsche over the 7 years that the factory teams ran in the IMSA Weather Tech Series. Also cool about this particular car being a mid-engine is you do have the exhaust there on the side, and you'll see that on both sides of the car, not just the driver's side, but the passenger side as well. The wheel detail is very nicely done. Michelin on the tires. You can see the Brembo brakes. That white arrow that you see pointing from the center hubcap, that points to where the air inlet is, so that the engineers can check the air pressure during pit stops real quickly so they know exactly where it is. You look over it, and it has that blue star theme that starts from the front of the car, runs all the way to the back. And we will go to the front of the car now and take a look at it from there so you can get a closer look exactly how this scheme runs, what it looks like. Gorgeous carbon fiber front splitters. You can see RSR clearly written on it. One thing I like about Spark cars is details. They're virtually perfect. You've got a gorgeous tow hook that looks exactly what it looks like on the real car. Even the front headlights are really as close to what they look like. They're just not a little plastic insert there. They're thought out. They're made nicely. Look at the carbon fiber details on the air intakes on the hood. Remarkable. I love the stars and stripe theme. That's what we're kind of looking at and talking about, because it kind of starts with the red stripe and then the stars and bars going all the way around it. You also know the fuel intake valve on the left side of the car. Another nice attention to detail, and I'll kind of zoom in on that so you can see it because it is very nicely done. I mean, beautifully done. The details are gorgeous. If I have one takeaway from this, and I have noticed this, one feature that is missing from all of the Porsche dealership limited edition cars I have that are common on all their other cars, and for the premium you pay for this, for the exclusivity, for the fact that it's a limited edition car, I can't imagine that they don't have, and you'll notice it missing because I'm going to zoom on it here. On the bonnet, there are no emergency pull tabs for the fire extinguishers that they have on these cars. Not even replicated like even just painted on it. But there's no separate piece, and that's very unusual. Otherwise, the details of this car are exceptional. The window banner looks beautiful. You can see a lot of the interior details even from here, very, very sharp. The aerials are gorgeous and unique. You even have the airspeed Aerion, that little aluminum thing that looks like an L that measures wind speed to feed information to the engineers. We'll take a look and pull this out from the side. You can kind of see how the paint scheme from a top view goes, or the livery, should I say, from the front to the rear. Very, very cool with the stars and the stripes going down the middle. An absolutely gorgeous looking car, and we'll take a really nice, cool top view there. Notice that the rear wing on this is white. The one on the red car was blue. This one is white. And if you take a look at the side, again, a great representation. And one thing I'll show you, because I was dying to see if it has it in here, because it had it in the red car, and I just opened this car up. On the interior there, you can see the little foam protective barrier that insulates the driver from the rest of the cabin. Porsche Motorsport in white. Look how cool that is. I have never seen that on any Porsche car, and I have a number of them in my collection, or any Spark car, or any other brand for that matter. Another cool attention to detail that you really get from Spark. And if you look right there by the number banner, you're also going to see a little red pull tab next to that blue air jack inlet. That pull tab is just in case when the mechanics remove the air jack hose from that inlet, if the car doesn't drop to the ground immediately, they can pull that tab and it'll release the car from the air jacks. That's just a secondary measure that the Porsches and the Ferraris have to ensure that they don't lose pit time and get into trouble in that. But beautiful side view of the car, absolutely gorgeous. I do love the venting. Again, look at the thank you on the bottom there, and again you can see the exhaust. Now we'll take a look at the rear of the car. Voila, voila, voila. Now, bear in mind, these cars are mid-engine, and you see the louvers on the engine cover. That is to provide air, because the engine on this particular car is right behind the driver's cockpit. Imagine it probably gets a little hot in there, too. Beautiful rear wing that you see here. The carbon fiber details on this car are just absolutely phenomenal. Gorgeous rear of the car. As you can see, the scheme continues all the way down the sides with the stripe continuing to the bottom of the car. Because this is a GT Le Mans spec car and a Porsche 911 RSR, it has a rear massive diffuser, which you can see down there. Beautiful carbon fiber. Also, the rear, I forget what you might call this, the body work is cut out, and that's how you can tell this car from a GT3 car as well, around the rear corner panel there, in order to make room for that diffuser. Looks a little unusual, but again, that's for aerodynamic purposes, to have that massive diffuser. And if you didn't know, I'm recording this in March of 2023. The GTLM class is gone in the IMSA Weather Tech Series. The Porsche 911 RSRs are also very sadly gone in the IMSA Weather Tech Series because of the expense to put these cars, to build them, to race them. Only factory teams in the IMSA Weather Tech Series had these RSR cars, and as of 2023, they are gone completely. Very much a shame. They are this particular car, the RSR car, are the best sounding cars, not only Porsche, but I think of any car out there. Just an amazing sounding car. Let me know what your thoughts on that, if you agree or disagree. I went down to Sebring this year because they had the WEC race there, the World Endurance Championship series, in conjunction with the IMSA 12 Hours at Sebring, and they had the RSR cars down there in the WEC series. The WeatherTech series didn't have them. The WEC series continued a year longer, and they were phenomenal to listen to. And speaking of this car being a thank you car, there is also another car in the WEC series, that the European entrance, that said goodbye on the windshield banner. And I have not seen those in a car yet, but as soon as I do, I'll pick up those models and I'll show them to you folks on eBay. Now I'm going to show what's below the rear wing, and I'm going to put the cap on this car to do it, because these are very, very, they're fragile, to put it mildly, and with all these aerials, even more fragile. And I have broken 2 cars doing this video series, and I don't really want to do that to a car as nice and expensive as this one is. So hold on just a moment. And here we go. This is a look at the back side of this, and it'll be the last one I'll show you there. You can clearly see the thank you under the rear wing. This is exclusive to these 2 cars. Again, a thank you for all the fans that have supported Porsche over the years. And folks, that concludes the review of this particular Porsche 911 RSR. I thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care. See you next time.